Welcome everyone to another series of our Wild Soul Wednesdays. As you can see, I have a special guest here, special to my heart. This is beloved Francis, and he'll be joining us today, and we'll be speaking on the Wild Soul. So I wanted to welcome everyone today. How are you feeling? How are you feeling out there? You can go ahead and comment, or anything that arises. We're here together to share and to be together. And today our talk is about returning to love. Returning to love. Francis, what is the wild soul for you?
In the wild soul, so we were, discussing a little bit, of sharing our conversation about the wild soul, and there's so many ways of looking at it. And what was coming up for me was the wildness of nature, and just like wild mountains and forests, there's a pristine element, so that the essence that is like unaltered, and then the word soul, so applying that to the soul, so the unaltered soul, and pristine, and which is really like in the love of God. We are made in the image of God, and came with that love built. It's built in our heart and our fabric, and we might forget it, or it can be diluted, but it is there. So coming back to that wild essence.
Returning to the love in a time, and more than ever, there's a great divide, and we see the external divide going on in the world, on the planet, in our country, on countries, on the land, and natural disasters. We're seeing that great divide from the outside. And my question to you is, what is going on within yourself? The great divide really begins with our self, our internal state, our internal, is there love? Is there fear? And what is, and who is? How are you responding to what's going on the external? Are you choosing to remain grounded or connected in the heart, in the love? Or perhaps you don't know what that means or what that feels like, to return to your own heart or your own center, or returning to love. I'm going to add to that.
And then really like taking that responsibility and coming back to ourselves, and coming back to ourselves constantly, despite anything that happens all around. And so taking that responsibility, that choice, so that we're coming back through the love, so that we're becoming emitting stations, just like antennas. We can, as antennas, we can receive that love, and then as we receive it, we're naturally vibrating that love throughout, in our own field, healing us and healing our dear ones, and part of the collective, being another ray, another beam of that love coming in, and so watching what's in the way, and then the breath, for example, like sometimes the fear of what's happening, the uncertainty makes a constriction in the chest and lower abdomen, different parts of the body, and really so taking the time to maybe now acknowledge your current state, and without any judgment, just feeling into what is there now.
Let's do that now. Thank you for that reminder.
Yeah.
And so feeling, inhaling perhaps through the nose, and feeling the breath go all the way, almost like above the pubic bone, filling up from the pubic bone, the lower belly, dantian, filling up, and you can even place your hand and all the way up to the chest. And as you do that, imagine the breath opening the chest and the heart, and relaxing the shoulders and breathing, using the apparatus of even inhaling and exhaling, dropping the jaw, relaxing the tension in the jaw, releasing, and allowing the muscles and the breath, allow the breath to breathe you. It's a gift from God to us to connect deeper with creation through our breath. And slowing down, that's really what's being called right now, is to slow down so that the mind can settle and we can feel ourselves. And it can be scary to feel ourselves. It can be a lot of pain. And the great divide, I believe, is caused by that great pain within us from this lifetime or remembrance of other souls' past lives. So the unification of our hearts, so breathing in, unifying through the breath, unifying your heart, feeling your heart, closing your eyes, placing your feet on the earth, bare feet on the earth, and feeling yourself, feeling your whole self. If you're up here, just even imagine as you breathe that the sediment starts to settle and you begin to embody yourself more, you begin to relax the nervous system, begins to balance, rebalance, recalibrate itself. And then we want to be here a little more, a little nugget of wanting to be here a little more, when maybe it's too painful to be here, to be in our bodies, to be on the earth, to be living. Feeling and
then stretching and feeling where if you feel still some contraction and wanting to close, just like reusing the breath to stretch. So if it is a lower abdomen, again, deep lower abdominal breath, and then ribcage, chest. Bring the breath all the way up, and then even if you feel again, opening your arms and contracting.
Can you stand up?
Mm-hmm. You can stand up and opening, and yes.
So practice here to help us continue embodying. So continue breathing.
And then feeling the divine presence everywhere. So divine presence within the earth, in the core of the earth. Like in Peru, they pray to God downward, it's not upward. And so really tuning in with that divine manifestation, the essence of God being in nature. So the ground where we're standing, our feet, and really feeling the root and feeling the connection with the ground of God below. And then connecting magnetically with your hands and taking deep breath in. And reaching within the spine and up, and open your arms the way you feel like. If you feel like you want to bend the knees, whatever way feels expansive to you. And for me, really want to take it, stretch it and expand it, and reach up toward the heavens. Again, God be above in the sky, and like that, offering God to God, God above, and again that God descending as we exhale. Flooding our system, going through all the way from top to feet, and then back down out the feet into the earth, and again inhaling. Creating room, space. Very, very simple practice, and then maybe back bending a little bit and staying here and just feeling the openness with the chest, and just see if you can feel like some even that joy, that chest that wants to open up. And freedom here, so no strain, simply like floating in the air, but again, God around us in the air, so we're in that sphere of God all around and being held in that sphere, in that bubble, and breathing into it and expanding it. Again, in your own way, just really letting the energy guide you for the moment. Really taking this time to go deep.
Feeling your feet, and imagine drawing the energy of the earth up through the body, like you're packing the body with that divine earth energy and merging with above and opening your heart to God, to Spirit here, and allowing that divine energy to flood in, that love, that divine love. There's no separation with that love. It's true.
And you're connecting with the hands up, like turning your hands, your palms up to the heavens. And often we see depictions of people praying very simply, the most simple prayers, just turning up to God and opening, receiving here. And so feeling that flow through the arms and connecting with the heart and the breath.
And feeling, maybe even imagining feeling the subtle energies, even just almost like a sunflower with your hand, kind of wafting and feeling to see if you can connect with that energy that surrounds us in your own, allowing it to nourish you.
And being fluid, if you find any need to again stretch, here spread, again taking that bubble of love around and spreading it out and wide, and feeling between the heart and shoulder blades. Even toning with the sound ha, connecting, there's a vibration ha that connects with the heart, and all the stress and the energy that of anxiety all around us and can release around everyone else on the planet.
And imagine you're a lighthouse or you're a satellite, and you're drawing in that divine love, and you're allowing it to penetrate every cell in your body, nourishing your body. So you using your body instrument is that tuning fork, that antenna, using sound, breath and movement to feel, to connect, to return to love. And placing your hands on your body, so you're rubbing your hands together. Just really rubbing them together, really feeling and building the energy.
Yeah, magnet, feeling the heat building up, manifestation of energy.
And what are you going to do with all that love in your hands, all that energy? You're going to give it to yourself. So just feeling, wherever you need it, maybe your eyes, maybe your chest, your low back, but just allow it to, just feeling the nourishment. Thanking yourself. Really feeling, feeling the low back, allowing yourself to feel grounded in yourself, to be here. And then your legs all the way to the earth, offering gratitude to the earth, her divine wisdom and energy. And then slowly inhale, coming back. Thank you. So continue breathing if you're here with us now, or you're gonna be with us later. You're always with us. We're always connected. We're always connected. Yeah, remember we're connected. So feeling the connection of my heart, our hearts, to your heart, and feeling maybe a little more unified, and that it is an inside job, and that you're not alone, that you are supported, and that you're loved. Just returning to the breath over and over, maybe wiggling every day, a little wiggle, a little breath, and remembering. And you're watching this a few times, it could be with you. So wherever you're at, whatever your beliefs are, it really doesn't matter. We're birthed the same way. And we leave the earth with our physical bodies in the same way. And so remembering more of our sameness, and that really what's most important is not the divide, but returning back to center, returning back to love.
And remembering that even when we don't feel the love necessarily, there's this loving love, or wanting to love simply. You know, in those more darker moments when we can't even tune in with the feeling of love, remembering it is there, and just the fact of wanting it is actually an act of love. And simply going back to the simple moments of life where we all have experienced love. And I was listening to your spiritual parenting video on Monday, and for example, like a mother knows love, just the love for the child. It's actually God's love that isn't that love.
Or your fur babies, or your garden, or really anything. You know, we all have some remembrance of love. You know, it could be the simplest things. It could be a butterfly flying. It could be anything. Like tuning in.
So,
Thank you. You have anything else to say?
Yeah, just remembering that even in a devotional approach, often in prayer, offering what we have, even if it is just a small coin or a small nugget of love, even though it's not the whole mountain of gold. Gold is gold, and we have what we have. Even the same scriptures, even if you offer a leaf or water to God with that feeling of wanting love, even it is, in the eyes of God, this is love. And it doesn't have to be everything and the whole thing and perfect. And just going back to the most fundamental basics of our essence.
So I heard you say was like deep desire. Like it's not like we've been like this our whole life. You know, that it took me, I can speak for myself, and it took really like the dark night of the soul. It took a lot of aloneness. It took a lot of like not wanting to be here and hiding, and a lot of shadow darkness within myself, and misalignment. And so really acknowledging as well the journey of going from that darkness into feeling the light and love, God, that it's there's a seed within all of us that desires that, and sometimes it's like a little fire, maybe it's a little spark, and it's little by little, like poco poquito, little by little, you start feeding and nurturing, and it's like a fire, you know, if you leave the fire, it's going to go out, but if you just keep placing a little more tinder on it, it'll grow. And so it's a journey. And so we're not showing up here, and it is a deep desire, and I know you have it, and we had it, and have it still. It's a practice every day, turning to our practices to keep showing up for love, and it's really about the inner love for ourselves, and with that it ripples out to everything and everyone. Thank you so much for joining us today. Thank you, Francis, for...
Well, thank you for
joining us. It was kind of a wild moment this morning, like, hey, you want to join? And I'm grateful that he has such a big, deep yes within him and wanted to be here with me, with you all, and being here on the planet together. So just imagining all of us around our fire and holding hands, all of us, the whole world. We have a fire and we're holding hands, and we feel that connection, that unification. We feel the presence of another heartbeat next to us, and we're on the earth, and we are in this ceremony together. It feels like a ceremony, a prayer. So what is your prayer in this moment? Maybe you have lots of prayers. Maybe it's returning to love. That's a big one. So thank you all. Thank you so much for joining us. Thank you.
Thank you,
Brendan. Thank you, Marina. All right. See you next week. Much love.